All right, Dave, welcome to TBRE podcast. How are you, mate?
Yeah, mate, really good, really good.
Mate, let's just go straight into the fat, mate. I love your story. Why don't we start there, mate? Tell me a little about you growing up.
Yeah, look, it's a varied mixed story for me. Grew up in Port Moresby, actually in New Guinea as a kid with the family. So I was there for about 10 years and then we shifted to Brisbane.
Wow.
So we were there for 12
Where were you
months.
born, mate?
I was born in Sydney. So
Okay.
born in Sydney down in Liverpool Hospital. So about 18 months out at Penrith and then the family shipped off overseas. So
Wow.
yeah, formative years of early primary school was all in New Guinea up to about year 4.
Bit of a strange time, mate, too. I believe it wouldn't have been that safe then. It would have been a bit, what was it like?
Yeah, look, it's a good question. There was where we were first living. We were in a complex similar to like Kira Shores, for example.
Okay.
In our area, so a little bit different to that. Surrounded by 12-foot fences with barbed wire wrapped across the top. So a little different to Kira Shores, but similar.
Keep you in, mate, or
bit of both. Bit of both. So in there, look, as a kid, we didn't really sort of perceive the risks in that area because it was just like a little community. So
of course,
parents would let you out, you'd go hanging with mates and stuff like that right around. It was pretty cruisy. After that, we were there till I was about 9. Then we shifted, came back to Brisbane for about 3 months, and then headed back to Port Moresby for another 12 months beyond that. And at that stage, we got into a standalone house, and again, was an isolated home, again, wrapped in barbed wire and 12-foot fences. So
different world.
Very different world.
We're pretty lucky in Australia.
Oh, it's just something you don't even think about.
No.
The lifestyle that we've got here until you've, I guess, experienced that other side.
Yeah, and then what? Where from there?
And then from Brisbane, we came down to the Tweed with mum. I was a single mum, 4 kids, so that was a little bit of a challenge, and ended up in Housing Commission home, and that's kind of where we started really, and that was my journey growing up and high school years throughout that period, and just sort of the way I felt and things that I experienced, and I definitely didn't want that for for myself and my kids and my family as I progressed through life. So that sort of really drove me to be self-sufficient.
Oh, you're driven, mate. I've seen you on the footy field. So what about from there? Like, obviously the good guys, I believe. Let's fast forward a bit. So you obviously been in sales a long time. What was it for you there?
Yeah, so I started in the Good Guys in 2006. I think by the time I left, it was around 17 years. So finish overall.
Some long service leave there, mate.
Yeah. So that was quite good. So, but yeah, look, I really enjoyed it. It was varied roles throughout that, throughout my time there. So did a few different departments, and started off in the tech side of things, computers and the like, and then just sort of went throughout the rest of the shop. Dabbled in management at a time, but then for me, selling was definitely my forte. So
yeah, you're a bit of a gunner here.
So it was definitely my forte in that. So I stepped back into that role and just crushed it. So.
Yeah. And what are some of the crazy times at the Good Guys, mate? What'd you get up to? Are we allowed to kiss and tell?
Look, there was a few things I could probably talk about it now because things have changed, but we'd have the little work assist vehicle, like the little lifter. There was occasionally times where we may have done time trials around the shop on a quiet Sunday afternoon, and when drones first came in, we may or may not have test flown a few of those throughout the shop. So
you got to know the product.
Of course you do, of course.
And fast forward a little bit, and how did it come to be at TBRE? What happened there? Talk a bit about the process there.
Yeah, so look, it was nearly at the end of my time at the Good Guys. I kind of knew within myself I was ready to move on and look for a new challenge. I looked into a few different things, and real estate had kind of crossed my mind years ago before that point, but hadn't really pursued it at that stage. Then you turned up at the door looking for some computers for the office.
I actually did buy them that day.
You did buy them. So got you good on that, and then you came back again a second time, and then that second time round we were just having a bit of a chat. You were giving me some insight into the real estate world and having a bit of a conversation from there, and one thing led to another. I turned up at a little careers expo you had at the Ivory, and here we are 3 years later.
And what did we do at the very beginning? We had a bit of a conference. It's actually coming up shortly, I believe. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so my first ever actual experience within the industry was coming to ARIC with the team back in, what are we now, 26? So yeah, 2024.
How was that for you? Because it was certainly, wow, here it is.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot to take in. Some of the things they were talking about I did not understand whatsoever, things like GCI and all sorts of stuff. So there was definitely some stuff in the language that was used at the time that I had absolutely no idea, went flying straight over the head.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a real eye opener into the industry and some of the hard work that's that I guess from the outside most people don't see that goes on. The long hours that you got to put in, the dedication to the task, and but look, the reward for effort is definitely there. I actually love the role. I really feel like I've taken a few little steps within the business and come into my own in the position I'm in now. Luckily enough to be working alongside you.
We bounce well.
We bounce really well. So yeah, I really enjoy it.
So what do you love most about what you do? Tell us a bit about that. It's a buyer's relationship manager.
Yeah, it's a buyer's relationship manager officially is the terminology and the title on the job card. Yeah. So look, predominantly dealing with active buyers in the marketplace, whether it's meet them at a first open home or have a relationship for 6, 12, 18 months before finding that right property and securing it. By the time we get to that point in time, negotiating sales, getting them registered for the auction, talking to them on the auction floor. Really for me, I just find it's definitely the relationships I build with the people and getting to know them that helps put me in a good stead, and it sort of gives me a good flow on how I feel that I operate best.
It's right in your wheelhouse, right?
It is.
And I think it was a good segue from the good guys to there, because I know you're good at the kill too. You get the sales done, mate. And tell us a bit about today. I think you've had a few numbers ticking through today, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. So today's been one of those days where things have just, after the hard work in the background, things are, coming together. So, yeah, this morning we've got 3 different sales advice out on some property that we've had some not challenges, but they've been.
There are always challenges.
There's always challenges, but we've got 3 sales advice out for properties that we've been working on for a few weeks.
And with the budget and everything going on, it's been a little bit erratic. That's pretty extraordinary, Dave.
Yeah, it has. Yeah. We've definitely noticed in at least the last weekend and this week, and probably if we go back, probably the last couple of weeks, really, maybe even 3 or 4, that with things happening overseas and the cost of living, and then obviously the looming budget, buyers have been a little bit tentative to come out and explore their options in the market, and then even the ones that are out there and active, even the confidence to put an offer forward.
What do we do different? Why is it so much better at TBRE? Like let's call it straight. There'd be very few agencies in our region right now, even on the southern Gold Coast, that would have 3 sales in one day. Why is it working so well? Like, if there's less buyers, less activity, and yet we're just getting results, why?
Yeah, look, I guess that's a really good question. I guess the way I look at it is the relationships that we've, myself and obviously you as well, because, you do meet quite a few of the buyers as well. So the relationships that we've had with those parties, obviously with the volume of stock that we've got, we tend to see them on more than one occasion before they get to the point of, putting an offer forward. So it's building that trust and that relationship with them. So when we get to that point where, we're at a situation where they're looking at a property quite positively, but maybe on the fence about putting an offer forward. It's just being able to encourage them to have the confidence to, take that step and, put something formal on paper, and then, see where we go from there.
And what do you think is the most important? Like, what do you think, because we do a lot of different things all the time, where do you think it all begins, and why is, like, culture, everything? Like, what is it? What's the secret herbs and spices, do you think?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think definitely the culture plays a big part. You're definitely a driving force in that, and setting the standards of
I don't always get it right, mate.
I think none of us do. I can definitely hand on heart say I don't get it right 100% of the time. So, look, the culture that you drive within the business is a big part to it. I think one of the things that, as far as especially for Saturdays and open homes and just grounding the team, we obviously the Saturday morning breakfast that we do. And sort of break the bread and sort of build that personal connection with the team, so then we can then rely on each other to play to our strengths as well. So that's one big thing. The teamwork definitely plays a huge part. And sometimes it's like I say, it takes a village to raise a child, and I guess it's a similar sort of thing in this.
Tell us a bit about Jacob. I know that's been a bit of a challenge for you. It's probably an understatement for all of us, but he's great. He's a good kid.
He is a good kid. I guess for me,
who's Jacob, by the way?
Jacob's Jacob's our junior rookie in the business. So he's just left school, and he's come on board to have a career in real estate. For me, I mean, with my family being 2 girls, never had boys, so I guess
Culture shock.
And handling boys and the language and not the language profanity, of course, but just the the way that they talk at that generation. It just was a bit of a challenge. And I guess, yeah, there was definitely some times early on where I just felt like I was banging my head against the wall when it came to trying to get through to him and trying to, I guess, guide him in the right direction to play the role and do the things that I felt are required. But look, he's definitely taken on board all the feedback. I've been able to have some good, frank conversations with him as well about where potentially his shortcomings were and what that looks like and how best to navigate around those things.
Interesting enough, on his feedback, we had a podcast with him, and it was interesting. He actually really respected the team support, and it got him out of his own head and realised he needed the old story, mate. Pull the socks up and dig deep, which is good. Like he owns that, which is good feedback, because you always wonder, like, is it getting through to the young kid? But now look at him. He's just crushing it, and he's had some really good results.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. I mean, credit where credit's due. He definitely knuckles down and gets the job done when he needs to. I guess got to cut him a little bit of slack. He is still a kid at the end of the day, so he's going to get distracted and he's going to do some things that I, at 42, probably wouldn't do. But if I look back when I was 17, 18, maybe I probably would have done them.
So. And there's probably a few things there, mate, I'm glad he hasn't done, because there's a few things I did I don't want him doing, so I totally get it. So tell us a bit about, I know you're a big sportsman, you love your sport.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that. Tell us, take it to town, mate. AFL, here you go.
Yeah, look, growing up, obviously, New Guinea was soccer as a junior, but then that was what they played, soccer or rugby league, and I was a little scrawny kid, so there was no way I was pulling on the boots to play rugby league. Mum would have had a heart attack. So when we came to Australia, I saw the kids bowling in the nets at cricket, so I took that up, thought that looked like fun, and then tried AFL at the ripe old age of 10 up in Brisbane, and just loved the game. So when we moved down here, I played that for about 10 years.
Nice.
And then sort of hung up the boots as family life took over. And then a few years ago, with the support of Courtney, my fiance, she encouraged me to go back. Thank you. She encouraged me to get back in and have a bit of a crack. So were
they dusty?
I had to get some new ones. So got some new boots, slipped them on. The mind, thinking it was still 20, went tried out with the cooling out of seniors. Body didn't like that. So one of the coaches there suggested I go check out the Southern Gold Coast Masters Club, and had a run with the boys at training a couple of nights. Just loved it. Just loved the environment, the atmosphere. Met some really good mates, or I now call mates, of course, but met some really good blokes, all like-minded, love our footy, family, and it's just good, that camaraderie and that mateship that, you kind of growing up having it and then stepping away in that family life, you, without realising, you do miss it. So it's good to get back into that, and then, I just love it. Keeps me fit, keeps me active, helps with the mental health.
It's huge, mate.
I've met some really, really good friends through that as well. A few of which it'll be at the wedding that's coming up this year. So
nice.
And then I convinced you, being a mad Victorian, to come and strap the boots on last year. So
it was a wild ride.
It was a wild ride. So it was when was it? End of 24. We had a mates game. Invited you down and had a bit of a kick, and you loved it. And that's it. You put your mind to it, and then next season rolled around. We did some pre-season training. It was good to have a bit of a kick and a bit of a warm up into it. Felt really sharp leading into last season. Then unfortunately, first game in, you blew your leg.
Yeah, ACL,
and that knocked you out for the whole year. So
it was good fun. That
was challenging. So it was a little bit disappointing to not be able to have a good run with you.
Yeah,
because I was looking forward to that, but. Credit to you, you kept at it, you did the training, and it was good to see you back on the paddock this year. And I mean, I can't believe you popped your finger first game in. That was just crazy.
Yeah, just a kind of finger. But I snapped it back, mate. We got on with the task ahead.
Yeah, popped it out during the warm up, and
you wouldn't read about it, mate.
No, definitely not. So, but it turned a different shade of purple throughout the recovery on it. But credit to you, you popped it back in. I knew. Knowing you, there was no way you were missing that game.
That's it.
After a year out.
Yeah, it was on.
Missing it before you even get a chance to kick. So
couldn't believe it. Warm up, eh?
Yep. So, but look, I really love it.
We have good fun together too.
It's good fun. Yep.
Game night tonight, mate. Just warm up.
Yeah. I love training on a Wednesday, so hopefully we can have a bit of a run. Depends on this weather if it holds out or not. But
hope so. Well, the boys reckon it's on tonight. I think by the time it rains, mate, we'll already be on the paddock, so that'll be good.
Probably.
So what about for you? You know, you mentioned before Courtney. I know she's really important. I got a pretty big role too, mate, and MC at your wedding, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, looking forward to that. So yeah, second time around for me. So looking forward to it. Courtney's been an absolute rock for me since we got together. Really sort of grounded me and helped me rebuild and reset where I needed to within myself, and rebuild some of those relationships that got a bit challenging through the years. So she's been an absolute she's a rock in my world, and I don't know where I'd be without her, really.
Well, you might not be playing football by the sounds of it. So
probably not.
That's massive in itself.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point. So I had thought about it myself, but never really taken the plunge in that space. But she gave me that gentle nudge in the right direction in that space, and even here today, it was from her words of encouragement after our first conversation at the Good Guys about potentially a career in real estate and what that looked like. It was her nudging me to get to that Careers Expo.
Yeah, how good's that?
So definitely, hand on heart, I wouldn't be here without her.
Time for a change and onwards and upwards, right?
Exactly right. So, but yeah, the wedding's in September. Looking forward to that. So getting close now.
It's exciting, mate.
So
great venue too.
Yeah, lovely spot. It was funny. It wasn't even on the radar for us. We did a wedding expo day and had a bit of a tour around, and being in the planning side of things with real estate, I plotted out basically an open home day of wedding venues. So
nice.
That was cool.
And tell us a bit about the venue and where you decided. Let's give the local business a plug as well.
Yeah, so it's Pioneer Country at South Tweed. So, family-run business, great venue. They've got a chapel on site. They've got a lake. They've got 100-odd hectares of land that they get up to. So we'll get obviously the ceremony at the reception and, a few little photos around there. And then after that, we head up the hill and get some photos with some of their cows, hopefully, touch wood, the weather holds. And then, they've got the reception venue there on site as well. So it's all in one location, which is great. It's so much easier for the guests as well.
I mean, I know you and Courtney were a bit worried, though. It's a long drive for you, from where you live.
It's a fair way, yeah. I did mention that to Court after we found our...
Is it 100 metres? How far is it?
I think if you include the drive, it's about 150. So I did jokingly say to Court, when we'd found our home, we bought a house together last year, and because we'd already picked the venue at that stage, so when we found our home, I jokingly said to her, I guess if we get annoyed at the wedding, we can just walk home. She kind of got a bit offended. She goes, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" I said, "No, I'll take you with me. I'll leave everybody behind."
That's right.
So so it's literally it's home. Yeah, it's a great venue and really well run. Yeah, looking forward to it.
And you got a couple of kids?
Yeah, a couple of daughters from my previous marriage. So Alyssa, she's 19, so she's finished up school now, getting into management at KFC. So really proud of her and the determination she's got within herself.
It's so good.
And Chelsea, my younger one, had a bit of a roller coaster with her, just with some challenges throughout the teen years. She becomes an adult in October, so it's a bit of a milestone for her. Bit of a shock to the system when your baby turns 18 and they're all grown up. So,
true.
But she's getting back on her feet and really sort of getting herself in a really strong position to hopefully, build a career and build a life for herself. And our relationship's definitely on the mend and on the improve now, which is good.
And you and Courtney got a couple of babies at home? Yeah,
got some fur babies. So I got the 3, got 2 dogs and a cat. So
don't forget the cat, right?
The cat.
Jeez, I'll be in the bad books.
So they're good fun.
Nice. What are the names, mate?
I got Max. He's a Jack Russell. He'd be probably 11, 12 now. Yeah. Bit of an old boy. Chesh, or Cheshire officially. She's a tuxedo cat. We rescued her from Animal Welfare League a few years ago.
Nice.
It was funny, actually, that story. We had my 2 kids with us at that stage, and it was a Sunday, I think, and Court and I were like, "Oh, what do you want to do?" And Court's like, "Oh, yeah, why don't we just go have a look at some of the, go see some of the pets, or some of the pets, I should say, some of the rescue animals that have, in the pound and stuff, just to give them a bit of love." She'd done it in the past with friends, it's a good little, I guess, a little mental health reset.
Did you take your daughters with you?
Yeah, daughters were with us.
Oh, dangerous game, mate.
I knew going in full well I'm probably coming home with a pet here.
Yeah.
So, Anyway, I said I didn't want another dog. Max was enough at that stage.
Yeah.
Because we just he'd come along with us after separation, and then walked in, and Chesh was in isolation. She had some hip issues, so she's on a special diet. So she was in a little standalone pen, I guess. So she seemed a little bit sad, and anyway, called me in. She saw her first, and as soon as I came in, Chesh jumped up onto a level where I could scratch her, and she let me scratch her and pat her. It was just an instant bond. You kind of just knew straight away. So we went home with a cat. So and then Slinky came along. I think it was the end of that year, maybe the year after. We got him as a puppy, little dashhound. So
nice,
and he's a handful. Love him, but he's a pain.
Mate, aren't they all? That never changes. Mate, I hear you. As you know, I got a dog myself. So yeah, it's always work, but you love them to death, right?
You do, yeah.
Mate, thanks for coming on board a TBRE podcast. Mate, just on a closing note too, what would be one thing that you'd say to people like thinking about the industry? I mean, you're about to hit 3 years. What would you say?
Look, it would definitely be, it's harder than it looks, but it's worthwhile. The rewards are definitely there as far as, personal satisfaction within yourself, and, financially, of course, if you put in the hard yards, it's definitely one of the industries that's, rewarding if you, put in the hard work. But yeah, look, it's, one thing I would say is if you're thinking about giving it a go, give it a go.
Nice.
You're not going to know until you have a crack.
100%.
But yeah, tough it out. I will be honest, 3 months in, I was ready to pull the pin.
Yeah.
I got to a point where I just, after so long in the same thing, I needed a change, but the change was more challenging than I anticipated. And I was thankful at the time that yourself and some of the other leaders in the business recognised that I was not, I guess, as successful as I was, looking to be or hoping to be at that level. So I was struggling a little bit. So yeah, with that support, it definitely, got me back on board, took me under your wing and, redirected me within the business into a role that I feel definitely better suited my skill set from previous experience and, within myself. And yeah, it just worked out that, here I am 3 years later, absolutely loving it.
Still kicking goals.
Absolutely.
Mate, at TBRE,
We open doors to your future.